everyone, it's Keith Gleason from Indie Comics Relay and creator of the Mighty Mascots, and I'm here with a Terrificon con report. Before we get into that, just want to say last night we launched the Mighty Mascots campaign finally after 3 or 4 months. We're pushing the pre-launch. We actually launched last night, and at this moment, I'm recording on Friday. This will probably go up around on Sunday night. We are at $2,000, 40% of the goal, which is insane. It's been less than 24 hours, so this is awesome. We're off to a great start. So once we hit that goal, then I can lay back and a sigh of relief and just make the comics and get them out to you guys as quick as I can. Yeah, I'm excited. This campaign, these 3 issues that are coming out, 7, 8, and 9, are awesome, and I can't wait to get them to you. It's more mascots world building as we introduce a new mascot ally named Grunt Calhoun, and then these next 8 and 9 is going to be like a kaiju sized battle, like with one of the biggest opponents the mascots have ever faced. So I can't wait for you guys to see that. And there's going to definitely be something going on with the robot boom in these 2 issues. So it's going to be interesting to see what people think about what direction I go with that. But there's a lot of perks here to check out. We have a digital tier. We got Sped is the Mascots Breakfast Club member. Get you the new issues. It gets you the awesome variants by Ryan, Steve, and Victor. And it gets you some of the Grunt Calhoun merchandise. And we got an embroidered patch here as well from artist Joe St. Pierre. So this $50 campaign gets you a ton of stuff. Plus you get all the bonuses and stretch goals that we unlock along the way. So really it's a great time to get in and get some cool stuff, get some exclusive stuff, because most of these variant covers are not going to be available anywhere else, not even on Alterna's website. So definitely check it out. Take a look. If you've read the comic and you like it, it's fun. It's more of that, more fun superhero adventures. So definitely check it out. And back if you can, back early. As soon as we get to that goal, then we can sit back and start thinking of other stretch goals to get you guys more stuff, more bang for your buck, basically. So all right, so let's now that we got the promos out of the way, I wanted to do our Terrificon after con report. Terrificon's been a show that's been around, I think, at least 10 plus years at this point. I've been doing it off and on since then. It started off as a small show in a hotel room in Connecticut hotel, and now it's grown into this pretty massive convention. I'd say it could give Boston Comic-Con a run for its money at this point, and maybe even Fan Expo. I don't know. I haven't been to the Boston Fan Expo since it became Fan Expo, so I can't speak to that. But the thing I really love of what Mitch Halleck is, the guy that runs Terrificon, is he has always, even though it's grown, it's gotten celebrities, he's always had a focus on comics there, which is great. So there's always always great creators there, creators you want to see. And the other thing he does often is he, like this year, for instance, it was Spider-Man's 60th anniversary. So he stacked the show with Spider-Man artists, inkers, writers, all that kind of thing. So he kind of had a focus on all the Spider-Man creators, which I like that. I like that shows you that the promoter actually cares about, creating something fun like that, or creating it comic focus. So he has a good ecosystem there. So there's not too many celebrities. There's, a little bit more probably comic creators and celebrities, which I like. And then there's a lot of vendors, and then like, you know, indie people, like indie artists too. So it's all broken up into different sections, which is nice. So as a fan, it's an amazing show, especially if you're a comic fan that likes some of the celebrities, because he does get some good celebrities too. So um I'd like to talk to you first about like my experience as a vendor. This year, sorry, my allergies are going crazy today. So this year was kind of like a weird experience for me, and I don't know what actually happened. I think it's COVID, people moving vendors around and things like that. But like, I gotta say, it was unique. I've never had this happen at a show before. But basically, I had to move my table 3 times on the beginning of the show on Friday, which is nuts. So when we arrived there Friday, they had us not in the right section, and from what I talked to Mitch, who's the promoter. From what I was able to determine is that sounds like some people mixed up the map or either put people in the wrong place or whatever. But I was actually supposed to be right next to Johnny C, who my co-host on Indie Comics Relay, and we were supposed to be right where the artists kind of start over against the wall. But when we arrived there, it wasn't that way. It was Johnny was with the artists, but we were further down actually with the toy dealers, which made 0 sense. You know, if anyone's ever vended out there and that's an artist, you know, that just does not fly. You're just completely lost. So, you know, Amy was upset. I was upset. So I was like, you know what? I've been in this business long enough. Let's go talk to Mitch. So I found Mitch, and we were able to move into the pro section, which is perfect. You know, you think on paper that's going to be great. I was right next to Randy Emberlin and across from like Robert Vendetti and I'm blanking on the name. We're kind of near Larry Hama too, which was cool. A great spot for us, you know. What happened though, as Friday went on, Randy Emberlin, who great guy, really nice guy. But his line kept coming in front of our table, and there was no one really watching that, or determined. There was nowhere really anyone could go but in front of our table, or if they went the other way, they were in front of someone else's table. So that happened about 3 or 4 times on Friday, and I'm like, oh my God, if we stay here, Saturday and Sunday are just going to be worse. So I ended up taking a walk around, and we found another spot that was completely empty, and it was kind of near Billy Tucci and a couple other people, and it was absolutely perfect. And they had taken down the sign and, you know, moved the table out of there, so you knew it was empty. So at the end of Friday, we moved over there. I checked with Mitch, and ended up being okay, and that became our table for the show. It ended up being pretty good after that. Like, we at least, it wasn't our best year as profit wise, but we did cover our expenses and made a little bit of money. When I looked at it afterwards, it didn't really make sense that we did the show, because if we broke down the profits, it was about $60 or $70 a day that we made. We cut down our expenses by not getting a hotel, so we drove in and out every day. The commute to Terrificon from our house is about 1 hour and 20 minutes, so it was just long enough to be okay. You know, we could do the drive every day. Usually at the end of the days, though, we're so tired, and so neither of us wanted to really drive, but that was okay. You know, we dealt with it. But if we had gotten a hotel, we would have surely lost money. So I was kind of glad that we cut that out, and the gas, was enough. Wasn't crazy, so it made sense. So any show that I guess you come out on top on is good, but when you start looking at the time wasted for the 3 days, I probably could have put that time to better use. I got the campaign going, I got books I need to letter, freelance jobs lettering. So it's all stuff that I could have probably done a little better. I mean, it could be drawing, things like that. So So overall, I got to rethink if I'm going to do Terrificon next year as a vendor. I'm actually rethinking a lot of 3 days shows. It just doesn't. It's a lot of time to give up for a convention, and if you're not really there to network, which I'm not, I don't mind networking, but that's never my primary focus. It was in the early days. Now it's more of like I want to make the money back for being there, So that's more of my focus nowadays. And I find with the bigger shows, 3 day shows, and if any other vendors or artists out there, I'd love to hear your thoughts on it. Um, but with these bigger shows, it's easier for people to not find you than they are to find you. But if you go to these 1 day smaller shows, people see you more, and your chances of selling go way up. So I love the 1 day shows. I love the library shows. I love the VFW shows. Those are my favorites. So but I'd love to hear you guys' thoughts on that, especially if you were at Terrificon. I'd love to hear your experiences as well. But so that was my experience as a vendor. But I gotta say too, for a fan's perspective, this show is awesome. Even me, I had a great time as a fan at this show. I got to finally meet, and I don't normally bring books to get autographed. I just, I'd rather just go to talk to the creator and say hi and just talk to him for a few minutes, maybe get a picture, rather than pull out all the books, have them signed. I don't really care about getting a signature. But I actually did it this year. I pulled out, I was really excited that Robert Venditti was at the show, who's a writer that, has been around for like probably the last, 8 to 10 years doing stuff. And he's just become one of my favorite writers in comics. And I never see him anywhere at the shows up here in the Northeast. So he was at Terrificon, and at one point I was across from him, at our vendor. So that was great. Talked to him a bunch. He just wrote recently the Superman 78 miniseries, which is a continuation of the Superman movies. It's from I believe it takes place after Superman 2. And that's great. If you love those movies, pick it up. I mean, he did justice to it. Should be his miniseries should be the real Superman 3, but we talked about Superman for a while and the movies and all that stuff, and then just talked to him about different things he had going on. He's a great guy, and I have a picture with him, but I don't have it online here, so I'll have to put that up on Instagram at some point. But that was great. And then the other one was Garth Ennis. You don't see Garth Ennis at a lot of shows, and I met Garth Ennis years ago, and but it was just good to get. I wanted to get my boys #1 signed, and the first issue of his Hellblazer run, which was the first part of Dangerous Habits. So I got those signed, got to meet him, so that was cool. And then, it's like all the kinds of creators there that I like to just talk to and just say hi to, but, I don't necessarily run out to get books signed and things like that. And then my friend Adam Wilson, who had came by, and I had mentioned that I wanted to maybe talk to Dan Fogler, who is one of the celebrities that was there. He's the crazy dude that was in Fanboys and Take Me Home Tonight and the Goldbergs, and most recently on Paramount Plus's The Offer. He's a great actor. And he's probably most famous for Fantastic Beasts. I mentioned that I was kind of interested in meeting him and getting a picture. And my friend Adam, this guy's awesome. I've known him for years through the comic shop. And he's the kind of guy that give you the shirt off his back, And he just walks over to me at one point and just hands me like $60 and says, "Hey, go get a picture with Dan." And I was like, before I could even process it, he had already walked away, so I couldn't give him the money back, So I got to get him at some point. I got to pay it forward with him, But yeah, so that was really generous and nice of him. So I actually went over to meet Dan Fogler. When I got to his table, I was shocked to see that he actually writes comics. Like he put a bunch of books out through Heavy Metal, I guess, and So one of the tiers to get a signature was you could buy the comic and get a, so I just asked him out of the blue, like, what comic do you recommend? And he recommended me some horror. So I grabbed one of those, he signed it, and then I got a picture with him. And I actually gave him some copies of Mighty Mascots. And then he actually signed the second book and gave me that second book, which was kind of cool. And he didn't have to do that, so that was great. And the picture is on my Instagram and on my Facebook if you want to see it. Cool dude. Cool that he was a comic writer. I never knew that. So I was kind of glad that I went to meet him. I'll show off. I'm gonna do another video soon of all the stuff I got from Terrificon, because I want to spend a minute or two showing off everything that I did receive from people and I bought there. That was one thing I loved about being a fan at that show too, is going around and buying a ton of books and also getting a ton of books from people, cool indie creators that I'm meeting for the first time. I'm looking forward to reading all their books. So I'll make another video soon, for probably next week, with all the stuff I got from Terrificon. Before we go though, I wanted to show I don't even take a lot of pictures from when I'm at these conventions, because I'm really hyper focused on on getting people, making money and selling my book to new readers and things like that. So I don't go around a lot, but when I do, or take pictures, I do get a few. These ones I were taken by other people, but I wanted to show them off anyways. But there's a picture of me and my co-host Johnny C. I love this picture. It's a good picture of us, actually. Someone in the comments had said we looked like the hardest tag team ready to go in the ring. I don't know about that, but but that was funny. And then the other picture I got was, which was finally great to meet him, was George Medina, and George and Sam are on our show all the time. And Wonder Duck was one of the books that I got. I can't wait to read that. He gave me, I bought the trade from him, and then he also delivered my Kickstarter reward. So it was great to finally meet him in person. Such a great dude, and I love George. One of our favorite guests, him and Sam, that come on the show. So if you haven't seen those episodes, go on our channel and watch them. These guys, it's like, they're fun guys that love to make comics like me and Johnny. So it was great to finally meet him as well. But yeah, that's pretty much it for my my Terrificon report. The show, like I said, as a vendor, just okay. But we had great years there. I should preface that this year was just okay for us. But we've had years where we've absolutely killed it, and Amy sold some $300 sculptures and things like that. So this show, I've always said, is a roller coaster for us. Like, one year it's up, next year it's down, it's up, and then the following year. I think it's all about placement on the show too, where you are and who sees you. So that's what happens with those big shows. So as a fan, this show, probably besides Plastic City, is the best comic focused show that you'll find in this New England area. Plastic City, Terrificon, and then Little Giant, I think, are probably the only ones that are very comic focused. Everything else has got more of a focus on pop culture and celebrities and things like that. So it depends what you're looking for, So, but all right, everybody, that's it for this con report of Terrificon. I hope you liked what I had to say. I'd love to hear your thoughts if you were at the show, or your thoughts in Comic Cons in general. If you're a vendor, things that you've run into, it'd be great. Subscribe, check out the Indiegogo for Mighty Mascots. Help us get to the goal so we can make those comics a reality for you. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Thanks, everybody. Have a great week and read some comics. All right. Bye-bye.
Ahoy, mateys! 'Tis I, Captain Horatio Honeyflakes, and I be here to tell you about me newest crowdfunding campaign. The adventures continue with me crew, the Mighty Mascots. in issues 7, 8, and 9. Just focus your looking glass on the amazing artwork of Ian Warianto and Anton Bondi. Me crew, the Mighty Mascots, are up against some scurvy scallywags, and we need ye help to defeat them. There be a bounty of exclusive treasure, only available here, where X marks the spot. I spy a huge coffer of bonuses and stretch goals on the horizon. Then please consider pledging so we can continue these adventures with the weirdest crew I ever had the pleasure of sailing with. Mascots Unleash!